Hello guys and welcome to episode 11 of my Satisfactory playthrough. In today's episode we're going to tackle the production of steel because I'm sick of running all the way across the map to go get more encased steel beams. So we are going to produce a factory very similar to this over here using foundries. So naturally we're going to need to pipe in the copper and the iron. So we have 3 belts of iron and 3 belts of copper. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of math, and not to be confused with meth, don't do drugs kids, do some math, and I'm going to work out exactly how many foundries we need, and I'll be back with you, and I'll share my insight into the mathematics required. So I'll see you in a sec. Hey guys, so I've done a bit of maths, so what we're going to need is 10 foundries. We'll do a belt of coal and a belt of iron, so in here we've got 5 on each side, equaling a grand total of 10, and I've gone through all the trial and error of setting up a floor so that way you guys don't have to see me meander around trying to set something up over and over and over again. This way it should be pretty quick. So what we're going to do now is hop up to the next level that I've prepared, and we're going to build this on camera, so that way if you guys want to build one of these, you know, efficient, compact 2 Mark IV belts, one for coal, one for iron setup, then you'll know how. So we'll start off with the first placement. For this one, you want it to be right here. So this is the center. The pad's 5 wide, however many long, I think it's 8, maybe. Nevertheless, so you're going to want to chuck him down right there. And then you'll notice that the front of these are not centered, as you can tell. So what you're going to need to do on this side is not line it up with the center line, but line it up with these, oh, sorry, bad jump. Line it up with these little triangles that are coming out, so the output of the machine. And you want him to be right there. And then the reason that you've done this and offset them so that they sit like this is so that you can come through with a merger and just donk that down. Oh, actually donk it down one further back. There, I want to say. Yeah, right there. It looks good. Sweet. And as you can see, they now both line up. They're not centered, but realistically for the center they don't need to be. The next thing we're going to do is the outside bits, so that's obviously the trickiest. So we'll come through here with our foundries. We'll fill the floor. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oof. And same with you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cool. Rightio, so I find that the next step, or the easiest way to get these done, is to come to the back here. And what you're going to want to do is grab your conveyor poles. And this is where the split is. It's not going to be here. The split is going to be off 1 so that we can fit these in. So we should be able to line you up and then bring you down. Sweet. And same thing here, line you up and bring you in. So there's very little belt clipping. I'm happy enough with it. It'll do me just fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come all the way over here, and you're going to line up this line here. So see where the building is over there. You come across 1, 2, yep, to here. Line it up with the other side there, and pop these down. And we're going to do the same on both sides, so it becomes pretty easy. You can see what we're building here. We're building a little horseshoe around the smelters. Same thing goes here. So this one's going to be a little bit trickier. So if you have a look on the other side, it locked us onto this edge here, which is in between these two smelters. But unfortunately it's not going to do that on the other side for whatever reason, so we sneak around here. You can use this as your guide and come across. And then with any luck, that should be on the money. And it is. So now you just link them all together. Like this. On both sides. Sweet. Awesome. That's that bit done. So now the next thing we're going to do is make the offset splitters that I have down there. To do that, what you're going to need to do is grab a foundation and plonk it right there. That's why it was important to shuffle these across on this side. And then you're going to grab your splitter, and you're going to be bringing the ore in on this side. So what you want to do is line it up just offset by 1 and centered. So as you can see, it's in the center of the block, but it's to this side by 1. So it's further over here than it is there. And then you're going to do the exact same thing over here once we line it up. And just because of the way that these splitters work, if I were to place the other splitter down and then try to make the belt, it won't connect. But if I do these belts now, which we will, then they'll all just connect and everything will be magical. And now that we've done that and the top's finished, we can come through with the bottom, line it up, connect the belts, if we can shimmy through here. There we go. And that is all of your belts done for the most part. Now the last step is the tricky bit. Well, the very tricky bit. So what you're going to do is try and parkour up here, grab your splitters, and then place them on the belt. So where it's sitting is actually on the belt, so you can move it freely. And you want to line it up with that orange mark. Actually, first. Yep. So I was just checking to make sure that that top belt goes to the end just for symmetry. It doesn't actually matter. As long as you get one coming into one side and one on the other, it really doesn't matter. But anyway, chuck one in right about, oh, tricky, there. And then if I can shimmy my way around the other side here, really hard to get a grip on these. And this one's going to be tricky, so you want to plop it in there. Same here. And try and get up here again. Same down here, and so on and so forth. And we're going to go through and do all 10 of these. And I'll be back with you once I've done all 10. Righto, so I've gone through and done both sides now. All the splitters are placed down. That side caused me a little bit of grief because some of the splitters wouldn't place. So what was happening is I was trying to place them down and they were sort of snapping to the ground. I'll see if I can demonstrate for you. They were snapping like that. So if they snap like this and there's a snap line, then they're not actually placing on the belt. So it won't work at all. So that's something to watch out for. Just a cheeky little tidbit there for you. But so what we're going to do now is come through, and with any luck, these will all line up, and everything will go straight in like that. And it'll be super easy. You just come through, chuck all your belts in. I'm using Mark IV belts because that's what I've got in my inventory, but realistically you could use Mark I belts here and it wouldn't matter. Same for the other side. Quickly dart over there. Hoop. Chuck you in, and you. You come through to all of these. Look at them, they're looking beautiful. Neat, tidy, no floating belts because they're sitting on the splitters. Just looks beautiful. Rightio. Okay, so we've done that. We'll come through and we'll do these merges as well. Oh, that's a splitter. Come on, Aussie, what are you doing? These ones, once again, you're going to have to use your own intuition because they're not going to snap. So you just need to make sure that they match up. Like that. All the way along. And then we're going to obviously put all the belts down here too. I'm just going to do the center belts for now because I find it easier to come through now once you've done this and assign the steel to all these machines, so that way you're not hopping over all the belts. Yep. Come through, put all these guys down. Sweet. Awesome. Rightio, so the next step is going to be our conveyors. So you're going to chuck your conveyor belts down, just like so, all the way along, like magic. Oop. A few helpful hints with these, if you can, and you're a little bit better at mouse skills than I am. If you try and hit those 3 lines on the conveyor splitters, then the belt will snap to it, just to save you tinkering around, because sometimes it doesn't like to snap. Right, so all of those are done now. That's all where the items are going to go. So now we'll quickly do the power. I like to put the power poles here, just all the way along. But realistically, it doesn't matter where you put these. You can put them wherever they fit. And then I'll come through and go link all these up and bring it back. Link all these up and bring it back, and so on and so forth, all the way along. Come here, you cheeky bugger. And put you there. And over there. Last one over to here. So I used the same trick I showed you in the last episode to get this to work. So this is actually connected through the floor into the previous floor like that. If you want to know how to do this, go check out the last episode and I do a quick tutorial on that. So it's a handy trick. But that is pretty much the floor itself set up in its entirety. In its entirety. So as long as you bring in your iron into one of these and your coal into the other, and then take your steel out of those merges, then that is going to be a efficient, you know, what is it? 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 5 by 7 foundation. That'll do 300 steel per minute. Well, I'll leave you with it and I'll continue on with the edges. Hey guys, just bringing you back to say that I'm going to wrap up this episode here. In this episode we've produced a foundry, and I've also completely connected it up to output two 450 belts there, as well as all of the inputs for the coal and iron have all been done. And the factory has run, working well, and it is fantastic. So, this has been episode 11 of our Satisfactory series. As you can see, things are really starting to pick up the pace now that we've got a bit more capability to produce things, which is fantastic. And in the next episode, we'll either be tackling constructors, assemblers, or potentially power, because these use a monstrous amount of power. So, if you liked what you saw, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. So, I've been your host, Some Aussie, and I'll see you next time. Bye!